Hello everybody, welcome to another video on my channel, and we'll cover the events for today, March the 18th on Naruto Online, and then we'll quickly go onto other things. So we do have 3v3 back, as you can see there on the interface, but we'll actually go onto the events. We've got Akatsushi Rainy Festival released, which I believe is going to be free for us. We've got Asuma, that's original Asuma, breakthroughs out, extremely late. Then we've got, as I mentioned, the 3v3 there, and we also have a new assist card, Ninja Assist card there, which is Kisame. No idea, I haven't checked it out to see what he actually what he buffs. Well event, Tsukiyomi still going, another well event there, and another recharge event. So not necessarily a well one, this one you can do a little bit less, just get on a ranking for the rewards. But yeah, still pay to win event. That's the rewards you get there. I don't really see anything new. No, nothing new. Anniversary red envelope, so again, for those who are recharging, can give coupons out to their group mates and get themselves also some rebate. Oh, this event is going for another week. I didn't notice. Okay. Last time was the same. I'd quickly in the night before I'd redeemed the free spins that I had, and then the next day I noticed, oh, the event is still here. I didn't have to rush it, but that's fine. That's all part of the same event. Time limited shop. It's wherever, unless you're spending coupons, ingots. I mean, sorry. And Sakura gift, so you can get some freebies there. Mission general mobilization, so it's time consuming. I stopped doing it. I stopped using a second account to give myself missions. The rewards aren't even worth it anymore at this stage. So rewards versus time, the time is actually more important. So I just do the basic points and still get pretty much the same rewards. Obviously, yes, double, so I will get out for whatever I would get otherwise. And I don't get the boxes, but I never get anything out of the boxes anyway. I think I got 2 ninjas in 4 years, so. Plus I've got most of the ninjas now that they will give on those boxes. Regardless, Muboku Trial, I believe this is where we get the Akatsushi, which is just for Pokemon collection. It's not gonna increase, unless you're on a new server, it's not gonna add to your lineup real easy. So yes, so that's pretty much that. We'll quickly go back there and we'll have a look at the ninjas. Oh, this is lagging. So this is Mr. Big Man. Mystery deals damage to the selected unit and causes 8 combo, interruption, suppression, super armor until the end of the next round and causes knockdown. This skill's chakra cost is increased by 20 every time it is used. So it's almost a useful mystery. It is a prompt mystery, however the fact that it adds 20 chakra to it makes him every time that he uses it. So the standard attack attacks 3 to 4 units in your opponent's lineup and causes free combo with a fixed chance of causing repulse. You know, basic. Chase triggered with 20, causes damage to 4 units and nothing special. Rainy Festival Ceremony, every round before an action up to 2 Earth Ninjas in your lineup will have all debuffs cancelled, 20 chakra recovered, and a 20% resistance increase. If that's 20 per 2, so you could get... What's wrong with the game? Oh, okay, don't answer that. There could be 40 chakra then if you have 2 Earth Ninjas, right? If I'm reading that right. So that could be interesting. And the passive Defender of the Eden Stone, every round before an action generates a shield based on 35% of Akatsushi's base resistance stat. Additionally, whenever Akatsushi is on the field, ninjas in your lineup who are currently having a shield will also receive super armor. You mean you currently have a shield? Whatever. So that's that. It's nothing new, it's things that we have in the game. and he looks like a, I don't know, he looks like a bad guy, or looks like Penguin from Batman. Anyway, whatever. Asuma. Let's have a look at Asuma. Breakthroughs. He doesn't have anything special either. We should have had him 2 years ago, or what, a year and a half ago at least. Now he's completely useless. However, we'll do that. I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of frags, but I'll just try to do these. Vials are never an issue to have. Wow, you're just giving me greens, the ones that I can't upgrade. Yeah. Genius, eh? Absolutely genius. And it's keeping them. This is how you see the difference between a crappy character and a good character when you're spinning. Because the game obviously doesn't care. And I can't upgrade one either. But yeah, vials are never an issue. It's the dust that's always a problem. And that is pretty crap. 809, that's fine, that will do anyway. I would like to get rid of that one, but whatever. Select skill. Yes, I'm gonna go back to that. Okay, so why it's lagging so much this morning? Oh yeah, sorry. Do have to get the plus. It's not even 100, it's 80, which makes sense. Don't know why I was thinking about 100. It was never going to be 100 for a crappy character. Not sure if I'll use him, wasting awakening materials on him. I'm not too inclined to do that. I suppose I could use him in arena, but I'm not sure I'm going to have the time. So just one of those, really. And that one. Breakthrough. Oh, that one only has one. Okay, and this one. Okay, so that's it. And how are we doing here? 7 minutes or something. Got that. So let's see how not amazing it is. Mystery at +2 causes wind attribute damage and ignition to a selected opponent's unit. When your chakra is higher than 30, this skill will not consume chakra and will not suffer from cooldown time. Kinda cool, but it only targets one, so useless. 4 knockdown Konoha attribute units in your lineup will get 1 extra standard attack, cannot stack up with effects of other extra standard attack, and cancel 1 layer of debuff. That is the Y+2, and it is a prompt, and arguably that is better than the +2 in my opinion. And the standard attack, so at +1, which is gold, attacks the opponent's front row as a chance of causing repulse and reduces its mystery skills cooldown time by 1. Not great, unless... Wow, okay. His Y's got the 4-round cooldown and his +1 mystery, +2 mystery of 3-round cooldown, so that's why they gave him that. I didn't even notice the cooldown of the mystery when I was reading it the first time. The standard Y+2 attacks the opponent's front row as a chance of causing repulse and causing 60% of extra damage. We'll probably use that with a +2 mystery, and we'll probably use the +1 standard with the Y+2 mystery. I mean, they're all crap, okay? Let's be clear on that. At the beginning of a battle, increases 40 chakra points for your own team, so nothing that the other Asumas don't do, especially Windblade Broken, which we've had for so long. Chase, the basic attacks repulse causes knockdown and blindness, okay. So the +1 adds ignition to it. And the second passive at +2, for each extra chakra points over 1 chakra point that you have, this unit will increase its ninjutsu and combo rate by 1%, which is not a bad passive, but the rest of the kit doesn't really support him on that. So yeah, that's that. And that's that for Naruto. And we'll move on to some other things going around that I didn't cover on my last game stuff video. Things like the Google Stadia, which in my opinion, as it stays, well, in a lot of people's opinions, including experts, as it stays counted, they say that now going to focus on third-party games as they close their own game studios without publishing a single game, so not actually giving them a chance. And to make things worse, I think a week or two before they closed that, Google executives were, or a Google executive was telling that the studios that they were in the right path and there was a future ahead of them, when he already knew that the days were counted for those studios. So I think Stadia is not going to last much longer and is going to join the Google graveyard, which is absolutely massive, and it just keeps getting bigger with each year that goes by. So yeah, this article was from the Next Web, and there's no point really reading through. Basically, it just means Google Stadia's got nothing. They're just going to publish other people's games, other companies' games. They won't have their own thing, and it's just really not worth it. Because if you're going to play games from other companies, you play it on other platforms, where you most likely already own some of their games, and you don't have to worry about internet connection and things like that, like you do with Stadia. So, in my point of view, there's no longer a reason for Stadia to exist. But that's my take. What have we got next? Valves. In an era where live services are starting to die, or so I hope, because I don't like those kind of games, even though I've been playing Naruto for 5 years. Valve, after Anthem and God knows what the other one was, Valve's Artifact is also ceasing development, as Valve announced, I believe last week, March 4th. So that is another failed live service. Well done. We need more of them, and hopefully companies will wake up and realize that just getting a live service out there does not mean long-term success. Does not mean success at all. So yes, I don't have a lot against live service games, but when companies are clearly just releasing it to make money and to milk players over time, and not actually putting the effort in constantly releasing content, then I hope they fail. They deserve to fail. And another one on that list of live services that are failing and is doomed to shut down eventually, or at least go free to play before it shuts down, is Marvel's Avengers, a game that should have had a lot of players. People love superhero games. They love playing games with superpowers and all that kind of stuff. I know I do. I know there's a huge community that does. Yet Marvel Avengers completely tanked. And today is March the 18th, so player base has been dwindling for a while, and there's not a lot of players. I think it picked up this week, over the past 2 weeks, a little bit, but still down for the kind of game and for the name and the franchise that it represents. Today, the 18th, we've got, as you can see here, this article is from Collider.com, and we have the Hawkeye's DLC, Hawkeye DLC coming today, I believe. And also today is the release of the game on current gen, and by that I mean Xbox One X, no, Series X, sorry, Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. A small issue with that, and the reason why some numbers have picked up a little bit in terms of players over the past 2 weeks, is because with this update and with the release from start on the current gen games, the developers have decided that they want to nerf the EXP gain that you've got in game. So the game, one of the many complaints about Marvel's Avengers is that it's too repetitive. And it's grindy because you have to level up your characters to level 50, and if missions aren't exciting or at least a decent amount of variation to them, you'll get bored pretty quickly. So what do the devs do? They increase the grind to, yes, try and get players to play longer, that's obviously the point, but also annoying and pissing off a lot of the players that will be like, no, I can't be bothered to level this up and just gonna quit. Which is probably what I will do if I was bored of playing the game, of doing the same generic mission time and time again. I mean, the combat in this game apparently is amazing, and that's great, but I screwed up nearly everything else. So the fundamental part of playing games is enjoying the game. And if you're just stuck in grinding and doing repetitive things, you're not going to enjoy it. So why would you play it? So yes, they increase the EXP grind to level 50 with the excuse, and this is amazing, with the excuse that players were advancing too quickly and were gaining too many skill points to invest and were getting confused. Okay, let's believe that for a split second. Which levels did they nerf in the game? Were they the first levels that you will level up too quick and you will get confused? Or were the later levels? No, they increased from around level 20 or something like that. That's the ones that they nerfed. So when you actually start playing the game, according to them, to their own words, you're still going to be getting confused because you're going to be gaining too many skills as you start playing the game. So from level 20 on, I haven't played the game, but I suspect you're more familiar with the game, so you kind of know what you're doing. That's when they nerf the XP. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Makes no sense. So, my opinion, Marvel's Avengers is full of crap and it's on a deathbed. We'll see when the ratings come in the player count rather than ratings, and see what amount of players they pick up with, one, the release on current gen, and two, the release of the Okai DLC. I'm not holding much hope, and I think very few people do. And I believe at the moment this game is still at a loss to Square Enix, so they haven't even broke it even with the money that they spend in development and everything else up until release day. Good luck to them, but it doesn't look like they are doing much to save the game, or at least not doing the right things to save the game. It probably needs a complete overhaul, and that's what Anthem got stopped. Anthem were doing a complete overhaul, and EA, DC, I've looked at what the plan was and what it looked like, and whatever they do in those corporate meetings, and decided that it's not worth throwing any more money into it. And it's the same that happened with Valve's Artifact. I know Anthem was called Anthem Next. I can't remember what Artifact was meant to be called, if it was Artifact 2.0 or something. Yes, also now is Artifact 2.0. Or does it have another name to that? Artifact Classic and Artifact Foundry. Oh, whatever. So that's kind of what Marvel Avengers needs. But if Square Enix have not even made enough money to break even from the development costs and marketing and all that crap, will they then bring the game down or go into development of a 2.0 version or whatever they would want to call it, to spend more money with no guarantee of ever having a good enough game to bring players back to make that money? They wouldn't. So chances are the game is either going to go free to play, and then they hope to make some money, microtransactions or whatever, or eventually they'll just have to shut down. And by eventually, it's not going to be that long into the future, because players, they've played, they quit, and they didn't stay for long. Even with the DLC, probably the same is going to happen. They come on, they play for a while. Maybe they will stay a bit longer because the grind to level 50 is no longer. Or maybe they'll just got bored and not even get to level 50. Time will tell. Moving on to one of our fan favorites. Mind you, I think they're all fan favorites now, all these corporations, aren't they? As we'll find out shortly. I do have water somewhere around there. So FIFA Electronic Arts have been accused, there've been some posts going on online about players selling very rare cards. I didn't even know these cards existed in the game. But I've stopped playing FIFA years ago for quite obvious reasons. And these staff, allegedly, some staff are running a black market for these kind of cards and other cards, where you can pay them directly and get guaranteed a card sent to you. Different cards, different players have different prices, but that's to be honest, that's actually better than EA's own system, which is a roulette system. It's like a casino. You don't know what you can spend a lot of money and you don't get any of the cards that you want. While at least this way, you may be paying over the odds price, ultimately probably paying less, depending on your luck, that you will have actually throwing money at the game and spinning, hoping to get the card. At least this way, you know, I'll pay this much and I'll get the card sent to me. And it looks like the EA has confirmed, at the very least, some questionable activity. I think I've seen a couple of other things yesterday and the day before with regards to it. So basically, there is a problem, and it's coming from within EA, from within the staff that are actually taking advantage of EA's own broken game, to run a black market. Even though, if you remember correctly, EA did say it's at one point that there could be no black market. These cards and these items had no value outside of the game. Maybe they didn't. Maybe their own staff did not get that memo, did they? That's my best guess. So yes, just making sure I was still recording. So EA in hot waters and getting a nice coverage again all over the media with these kind of systems, which hopefully will again help governments speed up whatever they have planned to put an end to these kind of things. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to play with Eusebio. I mean, don't worry, I like Ronaldo and Gullit, however you pronounce the name too. But obviously, being Portuguese, playing with Eusebio in a team will be something that I will very much love. However, that is never going to happen unless, and EA stuff, if you're listening, I don't have the game, but if you want to send me the game and send me the card, I'll play it. I won't tell anybody. So that is that. FIFA and Electronic Arts in trouble as usual. Next, we move on to another one of these lovely corporations, and that is Activision Blizzard, who again, after laying off a lot of people, I believe in 2018, maybe early 2019, or somewhere in 2019, they've laid off a lot of staff, I think about 800, and that was a record year in terms of finances. So they made more money than ever at that point, still fired 800 employees. And here we are in 2021, where again Blizzard has had a record year. So once again they've made, because this is what happens with them every year, they make more money than they made the year before. And despite doing that, they are firing somewhere in between 50 to 190 employees. I think originally they mentioned the name 50, but then somewhere in a report or on internal report or something along those lines, it mentioned up to 2% of the company's workforce or something along those lines, and then up to 2% actually works out nearly 200 workers. So don't know where they first got the 50 from. Which is not nice, and not only are they making more money than ever and still getting rid of staff, they are still giving to their CEOs, which are supposedly taking advantage of loopholes. That's all BS. That is all BS, to be honest. And they are paying their CEOs, or with in specific this dude Bobby Kotick, which I've got nothing against. Make your money. However, if you're firing your own staff, maybe you shouldn't be making that money, and he's making an extra up to around $200 million. So you fire nearly 200 staff, make more money than ever, give yourself $200 million. I don't care if it's on stocks or whatever, it's still worth $200 million. How does that make sense? Other than for some corrupt and garbage human being and corporation. There's no other. There was no other explanation unless you find some other crappy words that you can use on top of those. And yes, I agree with. But there's nothing good about these people or these corporations. The excuse being, and somewhat I understand that part of shutting down live events and things like that. Makes you wonder if BlizzCon is going to come back in the old format. I've got a feeling probably not. Also all these Call of Duty games, Call of Duty live shows, forgot what the other ones were. Can't remember the name, but it's a first-person shooter as well. And those things probably not going to come back. So people organize those events and those kind of things. Okay, yeah, I understand some of them may need to go. However, when you're making that much money, you clearly have the money to pay them. And we haven't seen. Maybe they did offer these employees a work elsewhere, a position elsewhere, but I haven't seen that written anywhere. And chances are they haven't because they don't care. They could, with that money, you could offer that stuff to go elsewhere and offer training for them in a new area, and they could still be part of your company. But obviously, Activision doesn't care because the only thing they see is dollar signs, and that's it. Even if they need to employ people later on in the year for other roles, as I believe it's been reported somewhere. I don't actually have that pulled up, but I came across that yesterday on a YouTube video. Even if they're going to employ whatever staff, or are expected to employ how many staff during this year, that's not going to help these people that are getting fired. And so that's scummy, literally. Absolute garbage. But we already knew Activision Blizzard was garbage. Blizzard was not garbage, but after joining Activision, they're all on the same boat, and that's why they're called Activision Blizzard. And they are scummy and complete garbage. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So we move on to last two topics, and that's PlayStation Plus games for this month of March 2021. And yes, you're seeing it right, Final Fantasy VII Remake is there. Obviously I've got it, even if I hope I get to play it though, because the original Final Fantasy VII, I barely played it, and at the time I was into a different type of game, other types of games, mostly sports, so I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't, at that age as well, I didn't feel like learning. I was like, I don't like it, but obviously I was just being a moron. So I hope at least I get to experience this game. I got Remnants from the Ashes as well. I didn't get Maquette, and I don't recall seeing Fairpoint. I didn't get Fairpoint either, for sure. But yeah, these are the games for this month, which is great. And the video is becoming already too long, isn't it? What are we up to? Oh, Jesus, half an hour. Okay. And to finish off, we'll finish with Xbox today. We have nothing that I really am familiar with, to be entirely honest, but with games with gold, which is something that Xbox wants to get rid of, in my opinion. And they earlier, this was already this year, wasn't it? Yeah, they were trying to jump, or late last year, I can't remember, trying to increase the price of the gold membership by nearly doubling it, which was absolutely ridiculous. And I was going to stop using it. Absolutely was going to stop using it. They walked it back after a backlash on social media. However, whatever idea they had behind the increase, they're going to come at it again, either again with a monetary increase, or some sort of other way to scrap the system, because they want to focus on a Game Pass, which is fine, but I'm not interested in the Game Pass. The Game Pass is not good for me, because I don't get to play the games. I'd rather get these games for free, get them on my Xbox Gold, keep the membership running. The £15, which is a great value. If you've got the time to play the games, the Game Pass is a great value. You pay, whatever to start with it, and I think it's $15 or £15 a month. If you've got time to always be recycling games, it's great, because the games that are on Game Pass, eventually they will cycle out and other games come in. That's not good to me. I want to get the game, know that I have the game, and one day I'll remember I want to play this game, and I still own it, I still have it, and I go and play it. That's why I have Gold. That's why I have PlayStation Plus. That's it. That's the only reasons. If I had time, or if I only had one platform that I was playing on, and obviously it means I would have more time, because I'll be playing the platform every time that I'd have some spare time. then yes, that service would work. PlayStation Now, Game Pass is the best out there, and that would work for me because I could finish the game, go on to the next one, whatever game there is. Chances are, I'm a gamer, so there will be a game that I'll be interested on anyway. At the very least, I'll be a game that I'll be interested in trying. Especially at the moment, they have ramped up the Game Pass program, as it seems. Especially around the time that they've acquired Bethesda. As of last week, there's been quite a lot of posts on their Twitter feed and that, adding more and more games. Normally refreshes once in a while, and like over the past week or so, there have been 2 or 3 games added. So they're ramping it up, which is fine, and it's great for PS. It's great value for money for the people who can take advantage of that service. I can't, so I hope they keep going and they keep it at a reasonable price. This game is the only one that I may be interested on. It looks like a first-person shooter. I'm not familiar with Warface Breakout, Cold Sun. Vala, Malicious Attack, Llama, Apocalypse doesn't ring a bell. And these 360 games, I never had an Xbox 360, so pretty much, unless it's a big name that everybody knows, I'm not familiar with them. I wish one of them was Odyssey, though. I really want to play the game. That's the only 360 game that I've heard of, and I really want to play because it was amazing. But these games, might be good. I just haven't heard of them. They are 360 games. But backwards compatibility with the PlayStation, with the Xbox One, does help a lot, and you can play it on that, just like I'm playing with Fable at the moment. So that is all for this week and all for today. I don't know when I'm doing another video. But hopefully you got some information out of it, and I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to go and have a drink. Thank you all, take care, stay safe, and see you on the next one. Now there's a button here that stops recording. Yeah, I found it. Yeah.